Welcome to the How Did Show, where interesting people answer the questions, how did I get here? And how in the hell did I get here? With your host, Donovan Corneets.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the How Did Show. And today we have a really special guest. I mean, everybody that comes on the show is a special guest, but for real, we got a special guest today. This person is a Canadian screen, television, voice, and stage actress, writer, and host. Born and raised in Montreal, she went from a child actor to now being seen alongside Kevin Hart in the hit Netflix film Fatherhood, which was like #1 in the world for a while, in Hulu's sci-fi comedy Future Man, starring on the investigation Discovery Netflix anthology series Real Detective, and in over 25 on-camera commercials and still counting. Everyone, please give it up for my buddy, Teneisha Collins. What's up? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Thanks for being here. So yeah, like you know, this is the How Did Show. So we're gonna get things going right away with you answering the question, how did I get here?
Holy moly, that was not a straight path, but I have to say that, I was a very precocious child and very weird. Like I would put on one.
Weird is good.
Like weird in a good way. I think it was really charming. But looking back, I was like, yeah, I was definitely not cool. I was, a little odd, but I was popular. But I was very precocious, and I'd put on these, one-woman shows for my parents and force my sister. Like, we have this VHS somewhere of me doing a one-person show of The Wizard of Oz, except for my sister. I forced her to be Toto.
Okay, yeah. Hey, look, everyone has to start somewhere, all right?
Yeah. And I remember watching, and this is going to age me, but I remember watching the Alex Haley miniseries Queen, with Halle Berry. And it was just so remarkable. And it was the first time I saw somebody who looked like me, like ambiguous on screen. And it was so amazing. And I was like, I want to do that. And then I got into school plays. So I was about 8 years old, started doing school plays, and got bit by this, acting bug. And I probably heard it on Entertainment Tonight that you need an agent to get work. So I handed my parents the yellow pages and said, find me an agent.
Find me an agent. No, this is just Sally Agent. That's her last name. This doesn't count, Mom.
Yeah. But it's yellow pages. I was like, talent. Like I had looked, I was like, talent agencies. I like earmarked the page. I was like, find me an agent. And I think that they were shocked but not surprised because that's just who I am. Like I'm just like make it happen. And I started acting as a child. I mean, it wasn't at the level that I'm doing it now. It was more, I'd say, like, recreational hobby. Like, it was fun to leave school for auditions or for little shoots here or there.
Right.
But it wasn't, the main part of my life was being a kid and going to school and having fun with my friends and family. But it was always alive inside of me, and I always stayed in the industry. And maybe I'd say, at about 20 years old, it was kind of like, okay, like I went to math and science focused high school. I studied science in prep school. I was in university studying biology, but knowing still that
I was a bio major too.
Awesome. Woo! Mitochondria.
Powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria in the house. All right, sorry.
Oh, good. No, I love it. So, I mean, look, like I studied something different in university because I was just like, I've been acting already for the last 12 years. I didn't want to go to theater school and like relearn what I already knew. I wanted to learn what I wanted to work on and just study something else that was interesting for me. And I'm a huge science nerd. And so I was like, perfect. But I still wanted to act. I just didn't think it was really something possible to do at the level that I'm doing it in Canada. I thought, I do little things here or there, but I really missed it. And even as a child, I auditioned for some pretty major things. So I had an idea. I got back into it, and it was kind of like just a bunch of synchronicities led me to where I am now, because I knew that a lot of the child actors that were doing really well, let's say in the US, from my hometown, went to this one particular youth theater school that had this amazing program, and I got in. And then I got into like their final showcase of like 10 people out of like 200, which was amazing. And then from there, it led to my next agent. And then that led me to my Meisner acting coach, which helped me really deepen my craft and, deepen my vulnerability to be able to have this career in drama that I mostly
Right.
work in. And then everything just started rolling, and that led to my next agent. And then here I am,
Here you are, all over Netflix, killing it,
all
which is
over.
just
If you're in Canada, I think that you can't watch a day of TV without seeing me and,
flex. You see her,
something.
the little humble brag there. I love it. I
I
love
know.
it.
I'm like humble, not humble.
Yeah.
I'm done
Sorry,
playing
not
small.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm done playing small. I'm just like, I'm
Yeah,
here.
that's right.
Get used to it.
Hey, you worked your butt off to get to where you are, so might as well celebrate the victories. But look, really quick, I'm gonna have to just like little side note, go a little bit off course because I was a total science nerd. Like I said, I was a bio major. I wanted to be a chiropractor. That was my original dream. And I was like counselor at a science camp. I was in the astronomy club in high school. But I also ran track, right? So I tried to balance it out, like athlete to nerd. But yeah, that's so cool that like somebody else. But the whole time, same thing. I was doing like school plays, community theater. I was also a Michael Jackson impersonator. That was my first job from like age 8 to about 12.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
like talent shows and getting hired to do that. So yeah, it's a whole thing. It's weird though when you know like the entertainment bug is there, but you do other stuff that seems more practical, right? Oh, I got
This
to
is
get a
the
real job.
practicality thing for me. Like and I've been saying this for the last like 18 years. I'm a cheerleading nerd.
Okay.
So I went to a math and science focused high school, and I have an affinity towards sciences. Like I understand, except for physics, but I understand it. Like
Yeah.
math is
Yeah. Screw
math is like
physics.
my third or fourth language. Like I understand it. It's part of who I am. I have a curiosity. And for me, I initially wanted to go to med school,
Okay.
except that I passed out during my own blood test. So that was off the table.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go into prenatal genetic counseling. But then I thought about the fact that
Okay.
delivering this heartbreaking news to families all the time. And then I was like, no, I'm going to go study like, gene therapy and work in a lab. And then I was like, I'm going to be staring at cells for 17 years and making friends with them. And then nothing will come out of that because
Yeah.
most of these experiments, nothing comes out of it. And I'm like, I talk too much to be alone in a
Yeah.
lab talking to myself, right?
The weird lady always in a lab coat. Like,
Yeah. So
ma'am,
it's like
this is a grocery store.
in high school, I was doing all the AP classes. I was in, the top of the classes, but I was also, I like they called me the Ultimo schoolgirl because I was editor of the yearbook. I was,
Oh boy.
president of our fashion show committee. I was full president here we call it grade 10, I guess, like the year before you graduate, which is like a huge thing.
Yeah.
I started the cheerleading team at my high school. I started the cheerleading team and coached it in my university.
We're gonna run out of time here.
Competitively
Too many
cheerleaded.
accomplishments.
Like I cheered competitively in prep school, which is like a little in between that we have to do between the high school and university here. So it's like I still have this like,
Right.
huge nerdy side where I'm just like asking all the big questions and trying to understand the ununderstandable. But also it's like, I want to be an actor. And it never
Yeah.
left. I was
Yeah.
very
It never
fortunate.
leaves you when
I
it
was
tugs at you.
so fortunate because my agent, when I was my childhood agent, closed her talent agency and became a casting director. And
Oh,
so
okay.
knowing me since I was 10, I would still, even though I was in school, I was still working as an actor and very little modeling, but like a little bit here, but I was acting, I was doing commercials, I was doing shows in English and French. I did my first voice gig, non-union. I did animated storybooks, and it just like, it kept me attached to the industry while still
Right.
being able to learn different things, because I'm a firm believer, like, and I think that you're the same way, like, I'm not just one thing. I'm
Oh,
not just an
absolutely
actor,
not.
I'm
Yeah.
just a creator. I have not just a duality, but a plurality to me that I love to explore.
For sure.
And some things take more precedent than others depending on the phase of my life, but
Right.
it's lovely to be able to do all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'm here with you. So what would you say in this process of child actor to accomplished adult actor, where would you say was your moment or gig or something that made you say like, you know what? I really have something here. I really can do this. I don't have to. doubt if it can happen. Like, I'm making it happen, and this is proof of it?
So I'd say, I mean, look, I've had a few aha moments. One of them, as a little 21-year-old girl, because I felt 16 still, and I was auditioning for 16-year-olds in a Meisner class with, these Canadian veteran heavy hitter actors, and even some Americans would come in when they were shooting here, and having this like that first emotional breakthrough in the class where you're just like, holy crap, I'm not acting, I'm just being.
Right.
And it was just so seamless and it just flew out of me. That was like, I have something here,
Right.
but now to how to show it, right?
Right.
And I feel like as a especially young women, no matter how you look, you're kind of conditioned that you're going to have this kind of like CW Gossip Girl type career, right? Where you're going to work because of the way you look. And it's like, whether you're big, tall, small, whatever it is, like you're going to play what you look like. And my Meisner coach passed away, but she's like my acting mama. Her thing was always like, I'm in a room and I'm looking at all of you beautiful actors, but guess what? You're going to get ugly, or you're going to get old, or you're going to get pregnant, or you're not going to be in like your looks anymore. So you need you need to really, really delve into your craft and get really good at that to, first of all, prove to the people who say, well, they're just booking it because they're ethnic or because they're good looking or because of whatever, that you actually have the chops, but also in those different phases of your life that you can still work. And that was the biggest gift she gave me, because a few years later, I got really sick. I got the swine flu, H1N1. So the last pandemic, I got it, and I got it really bad, and it shut down my immune system. And I gained, I feel like I probably looked the same as I do now, but going from like, this like super fit, super thin cheerleader to gaining like 20 pounds in a year, I felt ugly. And I was just like, what do I do? Like my very first role in the union was hot campus girl number 2. So I'm like, I'm not hot campus girl number 2. What do I do? And I auditioned for Real Detective. And Real Detective is a docuseries. So it's real stories, but it's shot cinematically, not like the cheesy ones. It's really shot like a movie. It's raw, it's gritty. And I was auditioning for the female lead. And it was all about like the acting. And I went in and I was so prepared, and I acted my big butt off at the time. I acted my big butt off at the time, and I felt the magic, like I felt like those embers, that you're connected to the material. But my question after we cut the first scene, and I'm like bawling my eyes out, I'm like wiping off my tears, wiping off my mascara, and I'm asking the casting director, how do I look? Is my mascara smudged? And he literally said to me, I don't give a shit what you look like right now.
Yeah, you just
like,
killed
let the mascara run. Let's just go again. And it was so freeing. And I remember being there being like, holy shit, I nailed it. And then booking it. And to me, I knew at that moment that, like, still attractive, but I wasn't, look, like we were like, it's just, we're our hardest critics. So for me, like I felt at my worst. And I booked this amazing.
Yeah, but your talent got you through.
Exactly.
Even when you didn't feel.
And that was like my mantra, that I'm like, I can book at any weight. And it was like, if I gain weight, if I lose weight, it doesn't matter. And that was like a very freeing moment for me.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then I just walked into every audition like, I am here.
I'm here. This is my role, damn it.
Not even this is my role, but I am here to perform for these 5, 10, 15, 20, however many minutes you have me with you. I'm here to embody this role right now. You were lucky to have me here. If this is what you're looking for, great. If not, see you later. But I know it's not.
Look at that.
It was just so empowering. And I think that confidence and that self-assuredness, and that like, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm going to do this to satisfy myself.
For sure.
That like reignited that like precocious child. That
brought it back.
The world suppresses. It brought me back into like full force. And I was just like, I'm Teneisha, hear me roar.
There you go. And you are roaring your ass off, by the way.
Yeah, so that was 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it's been this like, and you'll love this, it's been this hyperbolic climb. This hyperbolic climb since then. It's really been just like a hyperbole where everything just leads into the next.
Absolutely, yeah. So and you feel it when you hit that stride, and once you start being confident in what you are, what you bring, you're not worried about what anybody else is doing. You're not focused on anybody else's actions. You're like, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I have to offer. If it's a fit, great. If it's not, cool. But it won't be because I'm not good, right?
I just remembered, like, you revert back to your training, and it's like, why am I trying to be what I think you want me to be? I'm going to bring my authentic self to this role. And obviously I'm acting.
Right.
But I'm going to bring my authentic self to this role with where I am today. Not
Absolutely.
with, if I feel like shit today, you're going to get a character that maybe has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder.
Right.
You know? And that's what it is. And if you don't, if we can adjust in the room, or we can adjust on set, but it feels disconnected to me now to not do that, to not, like, who I am right now talking.
You have to be authentic.
We've chatted before, like, this is who I am in my day-to-day life. So I bring that energy to my role, and obviously, you calibrate it. Right. But you always see even if it's the totally outlandish character that's not at all me, there's something in there. Yeah. You have to.
No, that is awesome. And anybody watching this, take that as like dropping gems left and right, because I tell my voiceover students all the time about, like, don't forget that you're a human, and bring that humanity and that authenticity into the booth with you. Just because there's a microphone in your face and you're reading a script doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a robot. Like, bring the real you in, because that's the only thing you have that no one else has, is that you are you.
That's working. Like, I only started in VO in 2019. At the beginning of 2019, I mean, I did a couple of things, but in 2019, like, I hated my voice, but I had tons of people being like, you should do VO. And so I did a demo, and I picked my scripts myself. I knew exactly how I wanted to market myself, because I have this self-awareness. And I think within a month of putting my demo out there, it was just work. And it's because, we can do the, I saw you post something about announcer versus real talk. I can do the announcer thing, but that gravel, they call it the gravel here, the gravel in my voice, the little rattle, they love that. The conversationalism, they love that. And it's like, I wouldn't work if I was just like, hi, I'm Teneisha, it wouldn't be as consistent, because VO isn't there anymore. VO is a totally different phase of its life.
It's all about real. Well, cool. Thank you so much. That's such a great story, inspiring and just empowering. Like, just to hear about you, like, coming into your own power, right, and owning it. So yes, congrats to you. I love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to
the Wheel of What?
Let's bring this thing out here. And I actually have a for real wheel. Look at this thing. And I'm going to spin this thing, and you just got to answer honestly. All right.
Cool. Ready? Let's see.
Food combo. All right. This is pretty easy. This is just, if you have some kind of food combination or something you like to eat that you combine that maybe most other people would think like, what? But for you, it is like delicious. Is there anything that you eat that's a little bit off from what maybe people would think is normal?
I don't know. Like, I'm more adventurous now, but I'm a pretty basic eater with the way that I eat. Like, I grew up when I was little, like, whenever I was sick, my mom would always make Jello. I was always sick as a kid. I always had like tonsillitis or something, and she'd make Jello, but she also wanted you to eat. So I like Jello on toast.
That definitely qualifies.
It's like, so I remember she'd like eat, and it's like she'd give me toast and give me Jello, so I would just scoop it on and eat it. And only red or orange Jello, like only raspberry or strawberry or like orange. None of the other flavors; those are separate.
Yes.
It's very popular.
Yes.
Like, those are the good traits, but it's really good. And I haven't done that in like 15 years. But still,
I was going to ask you, when's the last time you had Jello on toast, and did we just reawaken that beast, and you're going to have some today?
Now I want it, and also like 15 years ago, like, I was still too old to be doing that.
You're never too old for Jello.
Jello
on toast, but.
And like, the other one that I think is weird that I thought everybody did, but maybe, I don't know, applesauce on toast.
Applesauce on toast? No, you got a toast thing going on here.
Butter, scoop the applesauce. It's so.
See, like, my food combination, if I had this question, one of mine actually involves applesauce. I love applesauce and scrambled eggs mixed together. Yeah, and usually it's something like childhood, right? Because that was how my mom would put like scrambled eggs, and I would have applesauce, and then being a kid, I would just like mix it up. But like even to this day, I love applesauce and scrambled eggs. So there you go.
Okay, that's okay. You beat me because that's weirder than.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. Jello on toast. Okay, let's not forget that you said that first. Maybe you got me beat with the applesauce and toast, but Jello on toast.
Next time you're sick, try it. Next time you're sick, try Jello on toast, and you're gonna be like.
But it has to be red or orange, right? Is that what you said?
I mean, for me, I prefer the red. I prefer red.
No, I
like
understand.
Strawberry or raspberry.
You have to have standards, okay?
Of course. And it has to be Jello, not like Jell-O with an H, like or actual like
gelatin flavored gelatin squares. Like you got to have the no off-brand bootleg Jello for Teneisha.
When your throat hurts, you're just like, I can swallow it, and you can, even if your nose is stuffed, you're like, I could taste the sugar. And it's just the texture. It's really.
You're definitely having Jello on toast in the next 48 hours. I guarantee.
Right now I'm like, do I have like an old box of Jello in the back of my cupboard that I literally probably like got in I don't know, like 20 years ago? Or something?
Expiration date is like last decade. But look,
Jello today if I don't.
I'm going to say you're going to have to go get some now, and I'm going to have to see like a video of you like killing some red Jello on toast. Well, that was great. Thank you so much for that. And that brings us to the second half of the How Did show. And that is a situation that you found yourself in, and you kind of looked around and had to ask yourself, like, Teneisha, how the hell did I get here? So let's hear it.
Okay, so one is really short, but I just think it's really a cool story to tell that I think is really inspiring. So summer 2019 on Fatherhood set, I'm on set with Kevin Hart and Alfred Woodard. And it's this, multi-$100 million project.
Right.
And I have this really nice role, and I'm looking around and I'm like, holy crap, how did I get here? And then I remember that 6 months prior, I did a data dump, and I don't know what encouraged me to do this, but I was like, I'm going to write down every actor that I want to work with, every director I want to work with, every writer I want to work with. And a lot of them were people that I knew personally, because a lot of us know really talented people.
Yeah.
But on that list, the top of that list was Kevin Hart and Alfred Woodard.
What?
Later, I'm on set with them, and I'm like, holy crap, I know how I got here. I made that happen. So that was really cool.
So finding $1 million that wasn't on the list, that should have been like number 3, because obviously your clairvoyant skills are very, very good here.
Yeah. And what's funny is Seth Rogen was on that list too, and I ended up working on his show Future Man at the same time as the movie.
You're
so I was
blowing my mind right here.
You know what? Like, let me just start writing everything down. And it wasn't even an intention. It was just like, I was trying to game plan.
Right.
I was working on like thinking of casting for a project I'm working on, and I was like, we'll just put everybody there, and then that turned into like this.
So like, how many were on the list? Because you got 3. So if you tell me like 5, then that was a really great ratio. But how many people were on the list?
It was a very long list. I'd say there's probably about 25 actors on it. Most of them, like I'd say, a good like 15 of them were
26.
Yeah, 26. We'll have to do a new list for 21. For 2021.
Oh, okay. All right, we got it.
I mean, still, it's 10%, which is
that's very impressive. Hey, if you book 10% of your auditions, you're hot stuff.
Yeah, but it's also very juju, right? So it's like if 10% of that like 25% list, more than 10%, I made happen. Yeah. That's great.
That's incredible. That is a very cool story.
I love telling that story because it's just like, it's mind-boggling to me.
No, that's incredible.
But also incredible. And the second one. So I mentioned Hot Campus Girl number 2. That was my first ACTRA role, which is it's Canadian SAG.
Right.
And there's this show called Blue Mountain State. I'm not sure if any of your viewers have heard of it or if you have.
Okay. I don't know why it sounds familiar.
It's American Pie in a college football team.
Okay.
They're raunchy. It's this college football team. They do drugs. They party. There's lots of girls.
So something for the family.
but it's easy. Yes, something for the family. I mean, there's not real nudity. It's like side boob. It's cable TV. It's Spike TV, so you can't really show anything. But it's not for kids. And I'd auditioned for their first season, 14 different characters.
Wow.
For 14, like for the first season. And finally, casting director who's known me since I was 12 or 13 as this little girl in a school uniform calls me, because at the time I had just left my agent, so I was in between agent. He calls me and he's like, I have an offer for you for Blue Mountain State. They really love you. That's why they kept seeing you. This is the role. Just letting you know, because I know how you are.
Yeah.
Please read the script. He was telling me, he's like, I know you. Please read the script. It's really funny. I think you're going to want to do it, but there's some nudity. And I was a cheerleader. I was like, okay, I'm confident with my body, but like, I also don't want to do like gratuitous nudity. Right. So I read the script, and then I spoke to my mom, and she was like, if you're comfortable. My dad's like, if you're comfortable, we support you. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm comfortable.
Nice.
So, I do my fitting, like it's like my first union set, not my first time, it's my first union set. Fred Savage from the Wonder Years was the director of the episode.
Okay.
And I had like multiple days on set for this character, Hot Campus Girl #2. And I'm not going to tell you what the character is because so what the character is actually. Her and Hot Campus Girl #1 are best friends, and they really want to sleep with the mascot, but only in mascot costume.
Okay.
So there's like a scene where we approach him on campus, and he's in full, and it's a goat. He's in like full goat costume.
This is getting a little weird, but I want to hear the rest of this.
Take us both home with you, and we're like feeling in his mascot pants, and there's obviously nothing there because it's a costume, and we're just like figure it out, make it happen. So I knew in the script there's a threesome scene, and we knew it, and we were preparing for it, and like I worked out like crazy. It was like ready for it. I was mentally preparing, and I knew the other actress. And she was like, she's been doing this since she was a child, not nudity, but like professional sex.
She's been doing mascot threesomes since she was a child. Yeah, no big deal. She was a veteran.
Like, I felt really comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Felt super comfortable, despite the fact that I knew that I'm going to be like, in lingerie for 2 days out of these 5 days on set.
Right.
So, we're shooting all of our scenes in like, the actual indoor scenes. And it's so ridiculous. Like the episode, the guys need to get a drug test, but they're heavily, like they just do drugs all the time. So like there's different, like one goes to like an AA meeting, one goes to his grandma, one goes to like an elementary school to like solicit urine from people. And they get they're called PVACs. They're like these plastic fake penises that they can then pee in the drug test where the person can't really tell that they're peeing because they're not looking at their parts. They just scream. But it's this like white, it's like a plastic, it's like white plastic. So the mascot uses one of those and he puts like school themed streamers around them. So it's like, it's hilarious. And we're filming all these things and we're having a blast. And we're like, okay, we're going to come in for like the final shot, which is like the shot of them actually getting to business. So we go take a break. We're in our robes. We're joking around. We're having a great time. And then I walk back into the room and I see the stand-ins. And it's like a giant like armchair, like a giant like comfy armchair. And you have one stand-in right behind the armchair, so like leaning on the armchair, but bent over. You have one stand-in here, who's the mascot. A guy here, a girl here bent over the chair, and then another stand-in here. And I walked into the room and I looked at this and my only thought was, please make me be the one standing. Please make me be please make me be the one standing. And
I hope Hot Campus Girl 2 is standing, please.
And luckily I was like, you know what? The other girl that I'm working with, she's a redhead, so it's got to be her because, you know, it's...
Of course.
It's just like, you know, the image of it. And thankfully I wasn't. But like literally like, so there's a scene and of her bent over a chair, this fake mascot just grabbing her and me coming up to the mascot. And if you've ever seen a mascot, when their mouths are open, the mascot mouth is just a mesh with the actual person's face in. So then me making out with this mascot head but there's nobody there, right? It's literally just me putting my face. I'm like 6 inches from the guy, and I'm like making out, and I'm just like, how the hell did I get here?
All of my training,
right? And it's funny because like my lines were cut, so like I'm in a lot of the episode, but I really don't say anything. I'm just like doing things throughout the episode, and half of it's clothed and half of it's, you know, in lingerie. But it's still the role that I get the most followers for.
Like right now, whenever this airs, like we put this episode, the amount of streaming for Blue Mountain State is going to like
I know it's on Netflix in Canada. I believe in the States too, or if not, you could like get it on Spike TV. But it airs in like 45 countries around the world. So I know when it airs, because all of a sudden I get like emails from like guys being like, I'm a huge fan of your work. I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
And they're like, I loved you in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah. Like, really? I was kind of humping a goat. But
yeah,
thanks.
So I had a threesome with a goat mascot, and but it was pure comedy. Like it wasn't even not real nudity. It's not even implied sex because there's no body parts happening.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. But literally in that moment, you know, like 22-year-old.
What am I doing here? Can't believe this is my life right now.
Crap! Like it was just that vision of walking in the room, seeing the stand-ins in position that I was like, oh yeah, this is real.
Yeah, this is real. We got to do this scene now.
And this is happening, and we're 5 days into the shoot. There is no turning back.
Yeah, you got to go through with it at that point.
And like I'm still friends with that actress, and like it's our running joke. Like it's just like the goat fucking, you know.
So who was the goat? Do you still know the goat? Do you know?
So the goat actually was the executive producer of the show. It's this guy, Chris Romano, so Romansky. So he executive produced How I Met Your Mother also. If you ever watch the show, he plays Punchy, which is like the best friend who comes in every now and then from Ohio. But he was the executive producer of the show and the writer. So even though it was my first nude experience, because lingerie is still considered nudity, it was definitely my first sex scene, my first threesome. And my only.
What a way to bring it in, though. What a way to bring it in. Who else can say their first scene was with a goat mascot? And
like it broke the ice. It definitely broke the ice.
Yeah, after that, everything has to be at least a little bit easier, right? I mean,
he was just so kind. He was like, you know, like and it was a weird thing because he's like, I loved all of your auditions. I'm really happy that I was able to put you into this role. He's like, oh, I handpicked you for the role, and everybody on set, like I had a friend who was like, my friend was one of the ADs, and she's like, no, everybody's really happy that you're here. Like they were like, we need her for this role, and I was just like, you're welcome.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. What about my auditions? Yeah, you know, made you think I was perfect for this, but
because he was one of the creators of the show, he was trying to bring us back into like seasons 2 and 3, which would have been really cool. But it's funny because like 2 of my first experiences were sexual, because my first dubbing experience, I was dubbing a show from Brazilian Portuguese into English. And the very, very first frame was a sex scene. Yeah. So I had to, and I'd never met the session director. So I had to, you know, do like, because there's a little bit of dialogue in the sex scene. If there was no dialogue, they would just use the original sound, because there wasn't. I had to, you know, do the moanings and the oohs and ahs while throwing in "That's good, baby," that like do that or whatever, asking him questions. And it was just like, you have to go all in, it's dubbing. And then we kind of looked at her and we're just like, she's like, welcome to dubbing.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of dubbing.
Welcome to the world of dubbing. So it's, you know, jumping all in with like jumping into the water all in.
You got to go all in. You can't go halfway when it comes to dubbing or mascot sex. Like you got to go all in.
No, but you can also always be like, how did I get here? It's like I trained for this.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for sending me to school and supporting my dream. And here I am in lingerie with this goat. Well, you know what? That is a fantastic story for how the hell did I get here? Like that is absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad you told that story. I may or may not, right after this, go try to find it on Netflix. I'm just saying possibly. I mean, if that's going to be your swan song, own it. You know what I mean? But no, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. And to go from Hot Campus Girl, you know, number 2 to co-starring in what I don't know if it still is, but it was the number 1 thing on Netflix.
So
I mean, that is just incredible and a testament to your hard work, your talent, your skill, your persistence. And so just congratulations. That's so awesome. Is there anything else you got going on in the near future that you'd like to plug?
So right now I'm shooting some French shows because I'm bilingual in Canada. So I'm working on some French projects, lots of voice, the things that I can talk about. I have a show called Dungeons and Distancing. It's a Dungeons and Dragons themed show where our adventurers take it over Zoom and I play the dungeon master, and it's really silly, really fun. You can catch the episodes on YouTube.
There's a goat.
Check it out. They're really short. I think if you watch the whole season, it's literally total like an hour and 10 minutes or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But really fun. And now we're shopping it around and stuff. So definitely.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that. And how can people find you on social media?
Definitely hit me up on Instagram at Teneisha C. That's where I'm the most active, but you can follow me on Twitter, same handle at Teneisha C, Facebook, Teneisha Collins Official, or visit my website, TeneishaCollins.com. I share acting stuff. I share life stuff. It's anywhere you follow me on, it's going to be a party, and feel free to send me a message.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. All the success to you. Thank you for being here on the How Did Show. And hopefully we will get to work together in the future. Go ahead and put me on that 2021, 2022 board.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me for the How Did Show. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And definitely be sure to look out for more new episodes coming very soon. Peace.